It was a crisp autumn morning in our little Midwest town. The leaves crunched beneath my feet as I walked down the familiar streets, filled with a mix of hope and trepidation. My name is Alex Turner, and I stood on the edge of a decision that could change my life forever. Years spent working odd jobs, from washing dishes at the local diner to sweeping floors in our small-town grocery store, had left me feeling invisible. But today, I was ready to step into the spotlight. Unlike everyone around me, my dreams never fit neatly into the confines of societal expectations. I wanted to become a software developer, a pursuit that seemed almost absurd in a place where ambitions were often met with skepticism. As I sat in my cramped apartment, the dim light spilling across my desk littered with old textbooks, I finally summoned the courage to apply to Tech Giants University, the prestigious school that boasted a reputation for molding the best minds in the tech world. The glowing screen in front of me felt like a portal to another life. I clicked submit with a nervous breath, and in that moment, I felt a mix of excitement and dread. The path I chose was daunting, and the ridicule from my friends and family echoed in my mind. "You're wasting your time, Alex," my old buddy Ryan had said just the other night, his laughter ringing sharply in my ears. "You think you can just walk into a school like that? You don't even have a real degree." Even the people I cared about the most couldn't see the fire burning inside me. As the acceptance email arrived, my heart raced, and for a brief moment, I forgot all the laughter. This was my chance. I enrolled, stepping into a world that felt like a battleground. Halls buzzing with chatter, students flaunting their designer laptops like trophies, the scent of coffee mingling with the faint smell of fresh paint on the walls. It was exhilarating and overwhelming all at once. But there was a catch. Among the sea of optimistic faces lurked a group of elite students whose confidence radiated like an impenetrable wall. They were the top of the top, the kind who arrived in luxury cars, had connections, and their eyes glinted with a superiority that was hard to ignore. I could feel their dismissive gazes when I was introduced during orientation. "Another nobody trying to play with the big boys," whispered one of them, a tall guy with perfectly styled hair, making sure his friends could all hear. Yet I was determined not to be just another name on a long list of underdogs. I spent sleepless nights coding, poring over tutorials, and consuming every resource I could find. Each small project I completed felt like a victory. Each line of code, a step closer to my goal. I quickly learned the unspoken rules of the university, how to navigate the social landmines as much as the technical ones. As weeks turned into months, something unexpected happened. Word started to spread about the kid, who a lot of people thought would drown, but who seemed to be swimming against the current instead. I was rising through the ranks, making friends in unexpected places, and gathering attention for my projects. But it wasn't enough. The shadow of that elite group loomed large. They couldn't see me as a contender, but I wasn't finished yet, not by a long shot. My breakthrough came when I stumbled upon a shocking secret regarding one of their most lauded projects, a flaw hidden beneath layers of polished code. This revelation could shift the power dynamic entirely, but I was taking a risk. Would I expose them or use this knowledge to my advantage? The choices weighed heavily on me like thick fog, obscuring my vision of what lay ahead. And here I was, a kid who once felt like a ghost in his own life, now standing in front of an opportunity I had to seize. But would I be able to outsmart the elite who once laughed at me? Before we plunge deeper into this whirlwind, a quick reminder for all of you tuning in. YouTube has a way of removing subscriptions, so take a moment to ensure you're still on board. Leave a like to support this journey and help keep the adventure alive. Now, back to the crossroads of my life. Little did I know, the game was just getting started. I paced back and forth in my cramped dorm room. the cool autumn air seeping in through the slightly cracked window. My heart raced as I replayed the moment in my mind, the discovery that could shift the tides of my journey at Tech Giants University. A flaw buried deep within an elite project that had been the talk of the campus for weeks. It was astonishing, really. How could something so critical slip past the scrutiny of the crème de la crème? The shadows in my mind whispered doubts, but I finally had a chance to carve my name into the annals of this ruthless battleground. I leaned close to my laptop screen, squinting at the lines of code I had carefully extracted. They twisted and turned like a labyrinth, leading me to a discovery that was both exhilarating and terrifying. My hands trembled, not from fear, but from the electric thrill of potential victory. "I have to show this," I muttered to myself, a pulse of determination washing over me. But a nagging voice reminded me, the thing about secrets is that they can bite back. As the clock ticked closer to midnight, I sorted through my options. I could go to the professors, expose the flaw, and risk the wrath of the elite. Or I could play a smarter game. I could find a way to leverage this knowledge. The choice felt like a slippery slope, but one wrong step could bring me crashing down. "What would you do, Alex?" I asked the empty space around me. Silence filled the air, heavy like the old blankets strewn across my bed. The ethereal glow of my laptop illuminated the room, casting shadows that danced across the walls. Suddenly, my phone buzzed, jolting me from my thoughts. It was a message from Lucy, a friend I had made in my coding class. "Hey, are you coming to the study group in the library? We could use another pair of eyes." For a moment, I hesitated. The library was bustling with familiar faces, many from that elite clique. But there was also comfort in collaboration, a chance to share ideas, albeit cautiously. "I'll be there," I typed back, determination surging through me. I needed to engage, to position myself strategically. Arriving at the library, the faint scent of aged paper mixed with freshly brewed coffee greeted me warmly. Students clustered around tables, their murmurs creating a symphony of ambition. Lucy waved me over, her bright smile cutting through the tension that had settled in the pit of my stomach. "Glad you made it. We've been struggling with this new algorithm." We worked side by side, and the camaraderie felt refreshing. I pushed aside my secret as I helped her decode lines of complex logic, the thrill of problem-solving elevating my spirits. But then, to my shock, the elite group entered, swaggering as if they owned the place, laughter spilling over the desks like an unwanted tide. My heart sank as I recognized Thomas, the leader with flawless hair and a penchant for belittling anyone who dared to stand in his way. "Look who it is," he drawled, his voice dripping with scorn as he pointed at me. "The wannabe coder thinks he's something special now." His friends snickered, and I could feel the heat rising in my cheeks. But instead of wilting, a quiet defiance bloomed inside me. I hadn't come this far, just to let their words haunt me. In that moment, as they dismissed my presence, I glanced at my laptop. The secret code that could bring them down flickered just behind my fingers. Would they still laugh if they knew what I held? The atmosphere thickened, a tension nearly palpable, and I knew I had to strike while the iron was hot. I leaned closer to Lucy and whispered, "What if we build something that could blow the competition away? Something that makes their project look obsolete?" She blinked, surprise mingling with excitement. "Are you thinking—" she started, a spark lighting up her eyes. "Yes, let's take what I found and flip the narrative. We'll create a solution that showcases our skills." The thrill of using the secret to fuel our ambitions was intoxicating. It felt like we were riding the eye of a storm, teetering on the edge of brilliance. Just then, a shattering sound echoed through the library, a chair falling over, chaos erupting on the side of the elites. My heart raced as I turned, the scene unfolding like a slow-motion snapshot. Thomas had lost his temper, and my gaze collided with his furious glare as he surveyed the commotion around him. "Who did this?" he roared, and the atmosphere thickened, the energy shifting from light camaraderie to thick tension. Could this be my moment? As I processed the scene, plots and possibilities flooded my mind. I was no longer just the underdog. I was ready to play for keeps. But would I dare unveil my discovery now? The stakes were rising, and soon the game would change irrevocably. Before we delve deeper into this whirlwind of ambition and risk, a quick reminder for all of you following along. YouTube has been known to drop subscriptions unexpectedly, so take a moment to ensure you're still in this with us. A like wouldn't hurt either to keep this journey alive. Now, back to the reckoning ahead. Little did I know, the true battle was only beginning. I took a deep breath as I stood there, the chaos around me swirling with anticipation. Thomas was fuming, his face twisted into a mask of outrage, and I could feel the energy in the library shift from casual chatter to an electric tension. The air felt thick, like the calm before a storm, and I realized this might be my chance. "Lucy," I whispered, urgency lacing my words. "This is it. I can't let them have the last laugh. If I unveil what I've found now, it could sway everything in our favor." Her eyes widened, and for a moment, I thought I saw a flicker of fear. "Are you sure?" "Moo," she asked, glancing nervously at the elite group still laughing in their corner, their attention now momentarily diverted. "Absolutely. But we have to be smart about it," I replied, my heart racing with every passing second. The stakes were high, but the potential payoff was monumental. Let's use the project floor to create something groundbreaking while they're still dazed. We can do this. Wait, just as I finished speaking, a loud crash echoed through the library as Thomas slammed his hand on a table, demanding attention. "All right, enough." His voice was sharp, cutting through the murmurs. "Was it one of you losers who did this?" His eyes scanned the crowd, landing briefly on me before snorting dismissively, his arrogance practically oozing off him. I could feel my blood boil. This was my moment to defy him. "Listen up," I called, surprising even myself with the confidence that rolled off my tongue. "While you're busy squabbling like children, we'll be the ones building the future." A shocked silence fell, and even Lucy looked startled at my boldness. "What did you say?" Thomas narrowed his eyes, his tone laced with venom. "I said we're not afraid of your little clique anymore." I pressed on, emboldened by the collective gasp of the onlookers. "We might just have the key to something monumental, while you're stuck in your shadows." "Well, good luck with that," he sneered, brushing me off despite the tension hanging in the air. His eyes gleamed with the kind of mockery that only made my resolve stronger. "You think anyone cares about your silly ambitions?" The blood rushed to my head, but this time I wasn't backing down. "We'll see who cares when we drop something that changes the game." My heart thundered as I realized how definitive my words hung in the air, and I quickly exchanged a glance with Lucy. Her eyes sparkled with a mix of disbelief and optimism. "Okay, I like where this is going," she said, excitement building, and my pulse surged with adrenaline. "Let's harness this momentum. What do we need to get started?" "First, we need a killer concept," I replied, my mind racing. "We take what I discovered, the flaw in their project, and flip it on its head. We build something that showcases our skills while highlighting their shortcomings." The atmosphere shifted as more students started to listen, whispers rising around us. It felt intoxicating to be in the center of attention, no longer just an invisible coder lost in the crowd. The elite were no longer untouchable. It felt like I was striking a match in a dark room of complacency. Suddenly, one of Thomas's friends stepped forward, chest puffed out. "You really think you can outsmart us?" he challenged, bravado dripping from his words. "You'll crash and burn before you even take off." "Not if we're prepared," I shot back, determination solidifying in my gut. The classroom was buzzing, and I knew this was just the spark we needed to ignite something bigger. With Lucy by my side, we mapped out a plan. Ideas flowed between us as we jotted down notes, fueled by adrenaline and camaraderie. The goals looked ambitious, daunting even, but I could feel the energy, electric in the air, a hunger to prove ourselves. But then, just as we were getting into a rhythm, the tension ruptured once more. "Your little plan is already doomed," Thomas shouted, now at the forefront of our segment, hands on his hips, chest puffed in the false bravado of the elite. "It's laughable, honestly." I turned to him, my voice steady and fierce. "You've underestimated us before, and look where it got you. We might just surprise you again." Just then, a loud clatter erupted from across the aisles, fracturing the atmosphere once more. I whipped my head around, spotting a group of students grabbing for their bags, eyes wide and startled. I could see whispers circulating. This place was becoming a battleground. "Let's not get distracted," I urged Lucy, trying to pull focus back to our buzzing plans. But the atmosphere felt charged. "We need to execute this perfectly." Yet the friction in the air was unmistakable, and I could see Thomas's anger simmering. The tension rose and settled like a thick fog that enveloped the library, and I was suddenly aware that everything could change in this moment. "Who wants to wager that your project is a flop?" Thomas challenged again, determination flickering in his eyes, making me realize it was more than just a game for him. It was personal. I exchanged glances with Lucy as the status quo shifted, an undeniable challenge igniting my resolve. We were on the precipice of something massive, a battle for recognition, and I was ready to pour everything I had into this competition. Before we delve deeper into our game plan and ambitions, let me remind you, YouTube has this strange habit of dropping subscriptions now and then. So, just double-check you're still along for this wild ride. Leave a like if you're excited for what's to come. Now, let's see how far we can really push the envelope, because the true challenge was just getting started. I stood frozen, the tension rising like a storm in the library. Thomas's sneer ignited something deep within me. "You'll regret underestimating us," I shot back, adrenaline coursing through my veins. My heart raced as Lucy nodded, her eyes filled with determination. The elite's laughter faded, replaced by a gathering storm of the whispers and glances. I couldn't back down now. Let's develop a project that flips the script. A hush fell over the crowd, and I realized the stakes had never been higher. Would we finally take down the elite? The next move could change everything for us forever. Before we dive into our next step, don't forget, YouTube can sometimes drop subscriptions. Double-check you're still here with us. A like would really support our journey. Now, let's see how this unfolds. As I looked around the library, I could feel the weight of the elite's scorn still hanging in the air, thick like humidity before a storm. My heart was pounding so loud I could swear it echoed off the towering bookshelves. "They think we're just a joke," I muttered under my breath, glancing at Lucy. Her eyes were sharp, fueled by the fire of determination. "We'll show them, right?" "Eh?" Her whisper was barely audible, but the conviction in it struck a chord deep within me. "Yeah, we will," I replied, straightening my back. I turned to face Thomas again, whose smirk only served to fuel my resolve. Let's turn their laughter into fears. The murmurs around us grew, a mix of skepticism and intrigue sparking through the crowd. I had their attention now, and I wouldn't let it slip away. We're not just going to play by their rules, we're going to redefine them. The tension crackled around us, like static before a lightning strike. What do you propose? Thomas shot back, his brow furrowing in mild contempt. I could sense the others shifting closer, their interest peaking, drawn in by my boldness. I inhaled deeply, my senses awakening. The scent of old books mingled with the sharpness of polished wood, and the faint murmurs of the students around us built an invisible wall of anticipation. A project, I began, my voice steady. A competition, a platform where everyone can showcase their skills, a way to rise above the elitism they force upon us. Lucy chimed in, her voice a melody of hope. Imagine if we could gather everyone, the best of us, under one roof and show them what real talent looks like. Thomas scoffed. And you think you can actually pull this off? You're dreaming. That sneer was back, and I felt that familiar surge of defiance. Watch us, I declared, the words spilling out with newfound confidence. We'll prove that true talent doesn't belong to the elite. With everyone's skills combined, we can create something unstoppable. The crowd was restless now, exchanging glances and whispers about our bold plan. Are you all in? I challenged, scanning the faces around me. One by one, hands slowly began to rise. The tide was turning. As excitement filled the library like a crescendo, I could almost taste victory. But amidst the thrill, doubt crept in. The elites would fight back, I knew that. We need a strategy, I continued, glancing at Lucy, whose expression mirrored my mix of excitement and trepidation. We can't let them sabotage us. Let's meet tonight, brainstorm ideas, and make a real plan, she urged, her eyes alight with inspiration. Suddenly, a loud bang shattered the moment. A librarian had accidentally dropped a stack of books, the noise echoing like a warning bell. My heart raced again, but I refused to let fear take hold. This is it, I said quietly, my mind racing with possibilities. We've got a shot, but we need to be smart. As the final bell tolled, signaling the end of the day, I realized this was the beginning of something bigger than us. The laughter that once filled the library was replaced with something new, determination. But deep inside, I wondered, would we actually succeed? Or would the elite's grip prove too strong? Before we dive deeper into this revelation, a quick reminder for those of you following our story. YouTube has been known to drop subscriptions unexpectedly, so please take a moment to ensure you're still subscribed. A like would really support our journey. Now, let's see what happens next. As the crowd dispersed, my pulse quickened once more. In that moment, as excitement and trepidation mingled in the air, I caught a glimpse of Thomas glaring at us from across the room. This isn't over, he mouthed, his face twisted in a sneer. I felt a chill race down my spine. What was his next move? Would he try to sabotage us before we even got off the ground? I knew one thing for certain. This was just the beginning of our battle, and I was ready to fight.